Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a new TW9 video with AEW for the Sickos. Apologies for a bit of delay in this one. Basically had a week where, just everything kept happening. I had a 17-hour day at one point. I was just constantly doing stuff and never got to sat down and even touch TW, never mind write out shows and book them. So yeah, it was fun times. But looking forward to it. As I say, we've got some stuff planned on the road to Wrestledream, and the rest of that will come in Collision, and then obviously next week's go home shows. It's been a wee bit difficult having the two TW saves as well with the same company around the same era, obviously for different things. The other save basically playing that offline. I just feel like it's going to give me a better chance to get those 100 ratings, which I kind of need for my achievements goal. But as I say, I have two different spreadsheets. One's going to veer off in a completely different path to the other. Different wrestlers will become available in that one, and I have completely different plans on that with a few things. And hey, some of those ideas might make it to the YouTube show. Who knows? But we'll see how it goes. We've got that Dynamite anniversary show out of the way, so it's back to basically mostly Sunday pay-per-views. I actually finished just Wrestledream, Full Gear, and Worlds Collide. I was going to say World's End, that's WWE. So 3 pay-per-views for the rest of the year. Maybe add on a wee Battle of the Belts somewhere. But yeah, sit back, relax and enjoy as we start the build properly to Wrestledream. So we're in the Lycuria Centre, I believe that's in Philadelphia. I hope. I know they were there quite recently, but yep, can't remember already. Great. So I start the show with a promo from Swerve Strickland. So people are wondering why I did what I did last week. Why of all people I decided to attack Sami Zayn? Well, it's simple. Sami is one of the most kindest, heartwarming individuals we have here in AEW. He's also vulnerable, he's an easy target, and easy to get in the head of. Now listen, I know there's many people here in AEW that I will target down the line. And Sami, I know you're going to come hunting for me. Well, if you've got the balls to do it. But as for tonight, I'm showing no fear in our main event. Cerro Meadow, that Penta, I'll run through you just like I will to Sami. And by the way, don't think I'm stopping at Sami. There's one man especially down the line that I know I'm going to get in his head when we cross paths. So the matchup tonight is Swerve versus Penta. The feud we're working with is Swerve versus Sami. But Swerve has his eyes set on someone way, way, way down the line. This is a feud I've got planned for like a long, long time away. But good news is, storyline advances, it gains heat. And the segment drew an 88 rated segment, so that is spectacular. I am delighted with that one. Swerve benefiting from a hot catchphrase. Good stuff. Opening contest was a technical masterclass with good wrestling and a decent reaction from our audience, as Daniel Garcia defeats Shingo Takagi in 15-12 by pinfall. So Shingo just, again, falling off some loan dates. 75 wrestling, 77 segments good, 78 performance Garcia, 73 from Takagi. Both guys had great chemistry and it showed in their performances. Scott D'Amore then says, as you know, we are just 11 days away from AEW Wrestledream, so really it's time to start nailing down those matches for the big event. So we have a major matter of deciding who will challenge for many of our championships. Tonight we will see a 4-way matchup with the winner facing Toni Storm for the TBS Championship at Wrestledream. And then on Saturday night on Collision, we'll have a 4-way matchup that will take place in the men's division, with the winner getting an AEW World Championship matchup as an AEW World Championship #1 contendership will be on the line. Sadly, just a 44 segment for the Mott's promo, but I guess it's a good matchup for Collision to main event that, and a nice wee 4-way tonight. We then cut backstage, Daniel Garcia bumps into Renee Paquette. Daniel Garcia, a fantastic victory over Shingo Takagi. How does it feel? To which Garcia replies, Renee, honestly, it's incredible. When I heard those words from Samoa Joe, it lit a fire under me. I know how good I am, and matches like that prove it. I can hang here, I can get to the top of this company. 57 rated segment, Garcia getting Berry's gimmick. Performance of Renee Paquette was good. We then had a decent matchup that saw the power of positivity, Kofi and Austin Creed defeat the Kingdom, Taven and Bennett. In 9:35 when Austin Creed pinned Matt Taven with the midnight hour, Creed carried the match up as Kofi was off his game. Actually, a very good performance from Creed at a 75. 63 for the wrestling here, and a 66 rated segment overall. We then had some words with Austin Creed taking the lead of the mic. Now, we've been here for a little while now, and we're starting to gain momentum. Positive momentum. Now, we notice at Wrestledream, Paul Heyman, we know you, and we know both Ricochet and Ua very well. So what we think is the AEW World Tag Team titles on the line, and the power of positivity will win another one. So they're issuing the challenge to the champions, 65 rated segment, up to Ricochet, Ua and Heyman to respond. Next up, we had a decent Wild Brawl. This saw Eddie Kingston defeat Wheeler Yuta in at 12:23 with a blackout lariat. A 65 wrestling matchup here, a 16 segment overall. Eddie producing a 74 despite being off his game. Wheeler Yuta obviously doesn't really suit his style, but it was a 55. This leads to some words from Jon Moxley. Eddie, welcome back. I see it didn't take long for you to start making enemies, first with Steen, then Okada. Your big mouth just couldn't keep quiet. But now facing off and what you're trying to do to Yuta, well, that's Death Rider business. In fact, that's my business. So you better watch yourself, because I know you and Claudio aren't exactly the best of friends, but what if you piss me off? So a 76 rated segment there. Their storyline begins. Yeah, Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley will have some blows down the line. Little backstage segment here, nothing major. Real One is doing a jobber spot. He asked if he could appear, and we said yes. So I thought, why not have a wee moment with Big Bill? And Big Bill just says, oh, it's you. Listen, don't even say something. Just be ready. This isn't like that other place. You mess around here, especially to the wrong person, you will get hurt. Good luck, man. So 60 for that little segment, because who is he going to mess with? He's going to mess with the Bull and get the horns. Extremely short matchup. Rush defeats the Real One in 203 with the Rush driver. Storytell matchup, as in Rush kills him. 50 wrestling, 62 segment. Real One was rusty. It's a one-off appearance. Rush looked excellent with a 76. We then had some words from your CEO. How cute was it last week when Willow decides, oh, she's going to try and become the new AEW Women's World Champion? But I'm sorry, you can't beat me, you can't beat Bayley. But hell, I'm sure you couldn't beat Nixon, Newell or Sky Blue either. So how about this, Willow? On Collision, this Saturday, go find a partner. And if you can beat Nixon and Sky, I'll defend the belt against you at Wrestledream. So 86, it's really good stuff there from Mercedes Moné. But again, just setting up to potentially a matchup with Willow Nightingale. So we'll see how that goes down. The Fatal 4-Way matchup for the number one contendership for the TBS Championship was about to have some decent wrestling, but didn't much heat, and it saw Masha Slamovich defeat Maya Iwatani, Billy Starks and Anna Jay in 12:17 when Masha pinned Billy Starks with a diving headbutt, made this steal the show. Weakest link was Anna Jay with a 42, Starks got a 63 despite being really off her game. I felt like here, Masha has chilly momentum, but she has suits her product so well. I feel like her and Tony would be great. I feel like in this sort of environment, it's only going to help with development of Billy Starks and Anna Jay, so that's why they were in. And obviously Mayu's Mayu. Incredible. But 64 for the wrestling and a 70 segment overall. It just leads to some words from Timeless Tony Storm. Oh, Masha dear. Well done. A great victory over 3 very game opponents. So 11 days, prepare well and prepare to meet your destiny. The TBS champion, Timeless Tony Storm. So 63 segment, storyline advances gains heat, and the storyline idea that we deployed was a success. So good stuff there. It's main event time, I believe. Yeah, that's solid. I'll take that. About had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The Swerve Strickland defeats Penta in 2052 with the Swerve Stomp. 78 wrestling, 81 segment overall, a 73 for Penta, 82 for Swerve, and they both have pretty good chemistry together. So we have a 78 overall. We increase our popularity in 16 regions. You could argue some of the stories were made up in matches, but that's fair. As I still say, it's a score I'm pretty happy with. Maybe could have been a bit higher, but yeah, I'll take that. It's kind of built up like 5 matches for Wrestledream, so you try and do the rest of that in Collision. I'm looking forward to base it after Wrestledream because it is quite a big run to full gear, so it gives me time to actually build stories. And then Worlds Collide, you've got. That's World Collide, isn't it? The two pay-per-views are so similar. But you've obviously got the finale of the Continental Classic, so that'll take place in most of December. So nothing happened before Rampage, so join me for Collision, and then after that we'll go over Rampage and Shockwave. So moving on to Collision, we are at the Heck Edmondson Pavilion, and we start off with some pretty good action as the Hangman Adam Page takes on Shingo Takagi. This one was a bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. They saw Hangman defeat Takagi in 1802 with the buckshot lariat. Hangman brought a brilliant 89 to Takagi's 72. They had 80 wrestling and a 79 segment. This was the last appearance of Takagi's lone spell, and yeah, just a really good matchup to make Hangman have all the momentum in the world. Hangman then cuts a promo on MJF. Wrestledream is just 8 days away, and I know MJF, you are running scared. You're worried about what I'll do to you when I get my hands on you. So I thought, how can I get you one-on-one with no interference so I can beat you within an inch of your life? So I spoke to Scott D'Amore. We have it booked, and if you don't show up, you're fired without pay. Wrestledream, October 12th, inside a solid steel cage. So that'll be in for Wrestledream. Hangman versus MJF steel cage match. This storyline advances, gains heat. Sorry, just advances, no gain of heat. And a 78 segment. But yeah, looking forward to this one. It was actually so long since I'd booked Hangman's last promo, I take back and check. So if there's ever any continuity errors, you can clearly tell I've not booked for a wee while and I've lost my train of thought. Which means I need to cover the stuff with Wheeler Yuta, because apparently he got written off and magically came back for a match, so that's on me. But hopefully, as I say, we're a good run of momentum with shows now, so hopefully everything will make sense. But looking forward to this one, Hangman MJF, Steel Cage, in 8 days' time. Next up was a wild brawl, decent. Walter defeats Brian Keefe in 5:58 with a folding powerbomb. This was just really to give Walter momentum and look dominant. He had a 92 performance in this 70 rated segment. This does lead to him cutting a short promo. So come on now, really? This is all that wants to step up and face me? I'm not shy of the competition here, and I guess this man was hunting for a bounty. But Dynamite, someone really good step up. Maybe someone that wants to fight me at Wrestledream. I think that was the other way about it. I think it should be but Wrestledream, someone from Dynamite pop up. I might book the matchup on Dynamite. I may have the person step up just at the pay-per-view. I feel I do a lot of that though because it's short-term booking because of the short gap between events. But I have an idea who Walter's facing. I just need to introduce them to each other. But that's a 69. We then have it confirmed by Tony Khan and we've had it confirmed by Tony Khan and Scott D'Amore. We'll hear from Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness. They confirm that the Fatal 4-Way for #1 contendership for the AEW World Championship will see AJ Styles battle Bryan Danielson, Konosuke Takeshita, and Nick Wayne in your main event. That also was a 69. A great opportunity for Nick Wayne. Then a decent matchup here that saw Roderick Strong defeat Mark Briscoe in 10:57 with a Gibson driver. This is what they steal the show. I don't feel it was particularly great. I expected a lot more from these two. The trio storyline advances but lost heat. A 61 for the wrestling, a 61 segment, 55 for Mark Briscoe, and a 66 for Roddy. And Roderick Strong was angry after the match, upset that Mark Briscoe almost injured him for botched move. We cut backstage and the Young Bucks have bumped into Mark Briscoe, and Matthews says, "Listen Mark, we love you brother, but this run of losses is worrying. You really need to start winning. We spoke to TK and we've got another shot at the AEW Trios Championships at Wrestledream. However buddy, we're going to try someone else. No hard feelings man." So a 67 segment here, both Nicholas Jackson and Mark Briscoe improvising well. That will take us somewhere at one point, don't worry. Next up, decent matchup. FTR defeat the MXM Collection in 10:14 when Cash Wheeler pinned Mansoor. with a big rig. Storytelling matchup here. You can see good performances from Dax and Cash. Dax with a 77 is good to see. 65 wrestling and a 70 rated segment. Dax then says that All Out we took out Cope and Christian Cage. Before that we took out Chris Jericho. Last week we took out the Acclaimed. These are all people who've tried taking our TV times, our opportunities. Now sadly it seems people have decided to nominate themselves for a shot at the AEW Tag Team Championship. Now it would be a shame if FTR had to put a stop to that power of positivity. So Austin, Kofi, you might make it to Wrestledream, but you might leave it the exact same way Cope and Christian left, All Out. So a Dagger at the Heart storyline advances, a 57 rated segment here. FTR not happy that they are not in championship contention. We then have AJ Styles and Nick Wayne backstage. A little bit of advice from AJ Styles. Tonight, Nick, we both have a great opportunity. In fact, for you it's the first of many. Tonight might be my last one. Please give it your all and let the best man win. So 67. Could it be AJ Styles' last opportunity at a World Championship? Could it be Nick Wayne's first? Remains to be seen in our main event later tonight. We had a decent matchup here. The tag partner for Willow Nightingale was Becky Quinn, which I've accidentally put after this. But they defeat the Monet Corporation of Sky Blue and Nixon Nolan 9:53 when Willow submitted Sky Blue. Becky head and shoulders above everyone else with a 79. Willow had a 63. Sky Blue with a 46. But I think she'd have maybe been out of the 50s if she wasn't really off her game. But yeah, it's Becky continue to be like a kind of thorn on the side of Mercedes. And Willow versus Mercedes happens a week on Sunday. And there's just a segment just confirming that's who it is. It's Becky Quinn being in the thorn on the side, a 78 for that. So I was just confirming that. I believe it's main event time already. 3 I'm confident in, 1 good opportunity. That's fine. I'm happy with that one. But they had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. AJ Styles defeats Bryan Danielson, Nick Wayne and Konosuke Takeshita in 23:39 when AJ Styles pinned Bryan Danielson with a phenomenal forearm. 83 for the wrestling, a 78 rated segment. AJ 76, Bryan and Takeshita 92-91, Nick Wayne with 75. I felt like when I had the idea for the match, I was like, I need an opponent for Okada, but it's got to be short term. And I thought, you know what? If this doesn't work, I just randomly thought AJ Styles, let's do it. Because then we can work stuff in with Nick Wayne as well. And there might be a little hint of where Bryan's next feud is going to be. And we finished the show. He's done it. AJ Styles has one final chance at becoming a world champion. He struggles to his feet and the ref lifts his hand. However, Nick Wayne's a little bit shocked. And he doesn't look overly thrilled at his lost opportunity, which was at 57. Eek, that was not good. That's not good at all. So we've been heavily penalised for a few reasons. The show actually, I think, rating wise, never had anything in the 80s, but I still feel the constant 70s should have saw a normal 78. However, we lose points because of not enough storylines rated hot or above. I think it's a bit frustrating because, especially in the Dynamite episode, I used a lot of the storyline stuff, but I suppose it is kind of, these are short programs that aren't necessarily great storylines, and then it's the big run after here that kind of helps us. But again, I could have obviously had still AJ doing stuff with Nick Wayne. I haven't started Bryan Takeshita yet, so yeah, that's one of those ones. We are writing out the angles to go with the stories. It sometimes is going to result in a pop loss, but that's cool. That's fine. Damn, I was gutted. That's a 66. Nothing in terms of the locker room incident, so I will catch you on the main screen as we detail Rampage and Shockwave. So after that bit of a shambles of Collision, let's check over everything else that's happened in the world of not just AEW, but wrestling in general. So Shane Taylor is gone. He has left AEW. His contract has expired. There's a new team in the WWE as Baron Corbin and Obafemi are now called Sick and Twisted. Cody Rhodes wins the undisputed WWE Championship from Randy Orton. Rafael Ramirez in a fight, nearly. Interesting. New Japan are letting El Desperado go. Atlantis is forgotten as well. Bozawa is dating Cole Carter down in Ring of Honor. It's an interesting one. Brandon Cutler has a bruised pectoral muscle, and Grayson Waller extends his deal with WWE. I felt like for as much as it was tempting to bring him in, as we're bringing like half the WWE folk here, and I think he's someone who would be good for promos, I just feel like probably in this save not worth the purchase. So we do conclude the renegotiation of Stokely halfway. So hopefully we'll have something for Stokely in the future. Might be signing Liv Morgan, that's looking likely. We'll think of an AEW name for her. Just I felt like her popularity, it was one you couldn't turn down. And Gabe Kidd's contract with New Japan was expiring, so I felt like no brainer. So DPW have offered a deal to Aramis, of course, as hologram. I believe it should only be a handshake deal anyway. It's Deadlock Pro. They ain't going to be offering them anything major. Liv Morgan, their offer is less than ours. So they are 4 years at 145,000. We're 4 years 150. Just confirming Matty Wellberg extending his. Shane Taylor, Takagi's gone. 1 million viewers for Collision. Shockwave got 2.8. And Brandon Cutler, that's fine. It was on our club. Anyway, so the last thing we need to do is round up the two B shows. Rampage had Buddy Matthews defeat Scorpio Sky in a 64. We then had some words from the House of Black, which was a 52, not great. Kyle O'Reilly with a win over Rocky Romero in a 63 to try and gain some momentum. We then had the team of Fire and Might, Chris Statlander and Priscilla Kelly defeating Rio and Sari in a 68. We then had some words from Priscilla and Statlander, which was a very strong 76. Promo from Athena, which was a 67, before a very good main event that saw Megan Bain defeat Athena. I feel like a mother save I'm doing offline, like I'm going to start a women's show shortly on that, and it's just going to be trying to just develop as many talents as possible. My aim is not only to get 100 matches, I'm determined to get a women's 100 match, whether in this save or in Mother EW save. So there's other things to look out for. And Shockwave, which I literally just booked there, had Powerhouse Hobbs over Scorpio Sky in a 69. It was a pretty good performance for Hobbs. I think he got a 72. His promo though was only a 53. I then done a little vignette video for Julia Hart. She's back from injury, which is good to see, which was a 40 rated segment. I'm sure, is Julia Hart not pregnant in this? Maybe I can just use her in videos. I'll check in a minute, but anyway, she featured. It wasn't her only feature of the evening. Serena Deeb defeats Billy Starks in a 65. Billy was off her game. It puts them 1-1 in the series, so I can run it back again. Queen Aminata defeated Camille in a 61. Then has some words from the Trios champions. Cole, O'Reilly and Strong was a 64. Buddy Matthews over Bandito in a very strong 74, thanks to interference from Julia Hart. With some word backstage between Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher, things are still not 100% between them, although they have issue with the Hart Syndicate. And Kyle Fletcher, in his final match, defeats Shingo Takagi 81. So Takagi's back, as we know now, to New Japan, and that should hopefully benefit Kyle Fletcher. Let's just have a wee quick look at his popularity. So, at the start, I'm forgetting we're a year in now, but yeah, I mean, I can't argue. He starts as a 39, and we've got him up to a 63, 64. I think that's pretty impressive. To be fair, he was a 68, so that loss of the tag titles would have hurt him, but he's 26, he's only going to get better, and if I put him in the main event scene, he's just going to accelerate up quickly. In terms of his actual skill set, which is a big one I want to improve, Brawling's up 9, Perescue's up 5, Hardcore's up 15, that's not matter. Technical's up 4, Aerial's up 3, Flashness up 3, Psychology's up 10, which is massive. The sooner we can get as many as possible over 80, and they can carry matches, is great. His experience and reputation were at 100, and his respect is up 4. Charisma's up 2, microphone's up 8, so those are stuff we need to work on. 7 for his acting. His sex appeal remains the same, but his star quality is up 3, and his menace is up 1. Fundamentals, basics are up 6, selling up 3, consistency's up 6, which is good, and his safety's up 6 as well. Stamina up 11, athleticism stays the same, power up 3, toughness is the same as his resilience. So overall, I want to keep an eye on. I want to see how good we can get his stats. I mean, it's inevitable he is going to break out to a single star at one point, but it's just, when will that be? So that's it for this particular episode, a wee bit later, but thank you very much for sticking with us. hopefully now I have a little run of days where I can hammer TW, so I'm hoping there'll be a good bit of continuity, and these videos should get back to their regular allocated upload schedule, which is every 4 days roughly. I'm working it just now, because I like playing other games. That's another reason why I was a bit slow. But yeah, hopefully, as I say, we can have a good go-home show for next week, and then straight into Wrestledream, and I am so looking forward to having that massive build to Full Gear, so we can properly get storylines and get them all hot and not even worry about that penalty. Because I feel the bigger the company is, the more over the wrestlers get, the better chance at 100. So thanks for sticking with us, much appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your day. You can check out the Fantasy Bookers subreddit, Grey Dog Software forums, twdb.com and bethebooker.net, and hopefully I'll see you in a few days. Bye bye.